everything Drake built might have just crumbled in one night. The GNX Toronto show didn't go as planned, and the surprise that hit the stage left fans questioning his whole legacy. What really happened? Regarding Drake, are you prepared for what's going to occur and how Kendrick Lamar will appear once? And for all that, no matter how hard this loser tries to run to Kaizenat, he cannot stop what is about to be the worst moment of his career. When Kendrick Lamar comes to the 6, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and now, really as between Drake getting more desperate than we have ever seen, in really his entire career at this point, to Kendrick Lamar getting ready to play in the Rogers Center, well as the moments that are about to come are going to make for one of the most important nights that we have seen in rap all year. Make sure to leave that like so all of hip-hop sees how Kendrick Lamar is about to never win bigger, and Drake is just going to never look more pathetic. And now with that said, when it comes to both Kendrick Lamar and Drake, well, in a lot of ways, for anybody who genuinely loves hip-hop and the art of lyricism and bars as a whole, well, if you're on this side of the genre, it's about to be straight cinema for you, because with Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour reaching the Toronto shows, here, of course, we are going to see the full circle moment where, ultimately, after kicking off a beef on Drake's end where he told Kendrick that he gets more love in his own city, well, Kendrick has really pulled out the ultimate Uno reverse card, because he is about to play within a bigger venue than Drake has ever within his home, because Kendrick has taken the Grand National Tour to a stadium where for years Drake has only ever done arenas. And now with this, as very shortly we will see, Kendrick Lamar will just become the king of the 6 in a way that Drake has never been able to even fathom. Well, with the stakes being so high, and with us on the verge of witnessing one of the biggest moments in this entire beef, well, no matter how angry Drake and OVO may be about this, nothing at this point is going to stop Kendrick from performing. Euphoria, Not Like Us, and who knows, maybe even meet the Grams in Drake's own city. And now, as Drake can't do what he did to people like Schoolboy Q here and get the show canceled, this does not mean that Drake and OVO have stopped trying to do whatever they can to take away this moment from Kendrick Lamar and do anything they can to just diminish the impact and message that is going to be sent to literally everyone when Kendrick takes that stage. And now, with all of the anger around the OVO community about this, they are just embarrassing themselves to new levels. Because literally what they are planning to do as Kendrick is getting ready to play the show is get together all of the fans they have for Drake and hand out OVO hoodies and pizza, just to show how Drake still really runs the 6. And yes, you heard that right. The OVO community is going to be handing out pizza to try and get one of the biggest and most pivotal hip-hop moments in years from going down. And with this, well, if you somehow thought that things couldn't get more pathetic than that, well, for Drake himself somehow, on this side of hip-hop, he is literally going to hand out pizza to Drake fans at a Kendrick Lamar concert. This is not even the lamest thing that is going on with these crashes, because with Drake, he is showing how desperate he truly is for any sort of attention, because right as Kendrick Lamar is going to be changing the genre forever, well, in response to this, I guess Drake is doing the most obnoxious thing he possibly could to fill up the timeline and try and distract the people from the fact that Kendrick Lamar has done something within his own city that, again, Drake could not even do with a tour where he had none other than Travis Scott filling in for 21 Savage during his most recent Toronto shows. And so now with Drake's latest attempt to just try and take away Kendrick's spotlight and do something that will distract everyone in the process, well, when you actually look at what he is doing and what he is trying to get from this, well, maybe Drake really should have just went to the Rogers Center himself and handed out that pizza, because really, as Drake has announced that he is going to be doing a stream with none other than Kaizenat, well, of course Kai is one of the biggest names you could have possibly used to create the massive distraction that is trying to be made here, well beyond. Just that as Kai literally just met Kendrick Lamar days ago and was absolutely shocked by his presence, and even beyond that, was hyping up how many awards he was taking home for everyone who saw him to just see to an even bigger level than ever what real greatness in hip-hop looks like, and how unreal the type of run that Kendrick Lamar has truly been on. Well, still, in spite of Kai literally supporting his rivals, Drake is still linking up with Kai after he was trying to be buddy-buddy with Kendrick and was smiling with SZA as well because they are friends. And now, truly, with this, we are seeing Drake just embarrass himself and show how, in this era where he has lost so much and nothing has defined every single move that he has made more than just desperation itself, well, Drake has never been more desperate because, again, as we have been looking at, in an era where Drake has been petty to anybody who has shown slight support for Kendrick Lamar or has been anti him in any way. Well, now, for most people, while Drake has stopped talking to them and has ruined longtime friendships over just honest takes in some cases, well, with how desperate Drake is, as he has no rapper friends who could help him anymore, and really all of the other clout chasers he has been aligned with just make him look more embarrassing with each time he is seen with them. Well, with Drake now going and collabing with Kai like this for everyone to see, while a lot of people are going to talk about this collab, and some people will think that Drake is up for even being able to be with somebody as popular as Kai right now. Well, when you look beyond the optics of this, when you really see what has been going on, and for hip-hop, and anybody around him sees how Drake has just crumbled and become more desperate for any sort of attention and help, as Kendrick Lamar's run has just gotten more dominant, and the moments like we are about to see at the Rogers Center have just gotten closer and closer. Well, of course, with Drake sitting next to Kai, right, as Kendrick Lamar is going to be playing Not Like Us for Drake's whole city to hear, well, again, everybody sees the play, and really, with Kai, no matter what else he has said and done, which again is the most telling about this all, because at the end of the day, Kai's recent actions have included him fanning out over Kendrick Lamar just days before this, even with Drake somehow linking up with one of the most popular people that you possibly could sit with, he is somehow taking another L, because with Drake doing this, even if you're a Drake fan, you have to admit this. This is a moment where Drake's desperation for attention and any sort of validation in a time where Kendrick is about to now take over his own city has made him drop the one thing that has been consistent, which is his massive and undeserved ego, and everything he has tried to stand on, and now we are seeing the ultimate admission of defeat for Drake, and just the most solidified moment that is telling us that he has absolutely no idea what he is doing and how he is ever going to come back from Kendrick and what happened in the beef. And as a result now, is just moving like the worst type of clout chaser there is, which is the ones who only think about how they can make it until the next moment fades away, and again as Drake needs Kai so desperately that he is now relying on Kai to give him a moment that, at least for Drake himself, will make him in the moment. Forget that Kendrick Lamar is taking over the 6 to just make fun of Drake's own words and dissies, and look at how they have worked against him in the long run. Once again, well after Drake has tried to say over and over again that Kendrick Lamar only does what the music industry tells him. And if we go back to a track like Taylor Made Freestyle, Drake was saying that Taylor Swift is the one pulling the strings, even for him all along. Well, really, we are seeing Drake's own version of this now, because with Drake being so desperate that he is sitting with Kai, who is the first person that has said anything negative about him. Because again, no matter how Ovio wants to put it, Kai has said that Drake lost the beef. He has criticized Drake on multiple occasions and he just fanned out for Kendrick Lamar. Well, really, what we are seeing with this entire moment for Drake Kai Cenat is the one who is running things for him more than ever. And no matter what happens, and what Kai says, well, Drake, who wants everybody to believe that he is a tough guy, is not going to do anything to Kai Cenat other than just desperately chase him for clout and hope to get whatever help he possibly can from whatever portion of Kai ends up aligning with Drake at the end of the day. And really with this, what we can say now is that if Kendrick is the king of hip-hop, which we all know, well, Kai is the king of this cloud-chasing circle and community that has so much popularity right now, and that Drake wants to be in so badly, because truly now, with how big Kai is, Drake is literally within a place where if he wants to just keep the fraction of his career that he is still kind of holding on to, he has to really just bow down to Kai Cenat really in a way that he has never willingly for anybody else in his entire career. And again, as this is Drake we are talking about, and anytime he has had any sort of a disagreement with anyone, and even if it's a small one, it's almost always ended in a beef, and at that one where they don't ever end up patching things up again when you just track the type of guy Drake is, which is one who is always creating problems, and then just seeing how desperate he is for Kai Cenat. This just reeks of lame for Drake, and there has never been further proof that he is spiraling to an entire new level. And in all honesty, for the Drake fans who still don't want to face the reality that everything the guy has done is just a move that is made to try and distract people from what Kendrick Lamar is doing. So his run just doesn't bring him down further. Well, when we look at the release of almost everything he has done recently, which is SSS for You dropping days after the Super Bowl, or even his tours happening when Kendrick's biggest performances were coming and building up, and now, of course, with this very moment, which again, for Drake, as he is going to be sitting with Kai and doing whatever things to embarrass himself, Kendrick is going to be playing in Toronto, which just tells you everything you need to know about why this is even happening in the first place. And so overall, for the Drake fans who still don't want to admit it, now there is a clear pattern that is showing that Drake is desperate over everything else that you want to say about him. To be honest, with this, you can't even act like Drake has won a beef or done anything significant, because now he is both linking up with a guy who has literally made fun of him on multiple occasions. And to do this for Drake, which shows that he is letting down his ego, this genuinely shows us how scared he is of these GNX Toronto shows. And so now, with all this established, while Drake thinks that he is going to link up with Kayat, and as a result, it's going to make everybody magically forget about what Kendrick Lamar is doing, I got bad news for the guy, because even if Drake drops an entire album or does anything at this point, the significance that these upcoming GNX shows are going to have are truly going to garner everybody in hip-hop's attention. And when people can see that Kendrick Lamar is doing a song such as Not Like Us while the same iconography of the city that Drake has tried to make his own on something like Views is in the backdrop of Kendrick Lamar in the first ever stadium show in Toronto. From a rapper, well, this is going to speak more volumes than whatever cringe stuff Drake does alongside Kai Cenat just to chase any sort of clout that he can get. So overall, what we can say and do, as we wait to see Kendrick Lamar deliver the most important show of the entire Grand National Tour, that we are about to see another great moment in hip-hop. And again, no matter how Drake tries to move the goalpost and direct the moment away from Kendrick Lamar with his little pathetic streak, no matter what he thinks, Kaizen will not distract anybody from the fact that, after all, Kendrick is about to be the one who is going to get more love in the city that Drake's from than he ever has. And to be honestly, if one guy is performing in a stadium, performing such massive records, and the other is sitting on a stream and embarrassing himself for attention, well, again, no matter who you are a fan of at this point, I think everybody can see who the winner of this thing really is and who has lost more than ever. And so now, with all of this said, let me know, what do you think about Drake trying to cover up Kendrick Lamar's show with a stream with Kai Cenat? And what do you think is going to happen when both of these moments go down and Drake is embarrassing himself, while at the same time Kendrick Lamar is just becoming greater than we have ever seen? And now, if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see how, right before these upcoming shows with Kendrick Lamar, at his last show within Detroit, none other than DJ Academics went, and he ended up meeting Kendrick Lamar's team and having a conversation with them as a whole that revealed a lot. Check out the suggested video.